Today's show is sponsored by Indie Film Hustle's Filmmaker Process. We provide filmmakers with professional services to get their films or series funded, finished, and distributed. For more information, go to filmmakerprocess.com.
I spent 2 months with Sheldon and Jean-Claude in Hong Kong doing rewrites on Double Impact.
Okay, so now, so you see, why isn't this on your IMDb? I would be talking to you about this.
Well, because I was uncredited rewrite, but I was there.
Okay, so now see how the conversation has turned. Okay, so which is fantastic.
No one is going to watch this. I'm telling you.
No, it's fantastic.
No interest to anybody.
It's like you make your movies for you, I make these interviews for me, and if someone listens to them, fantastic. All right, so you're in with Sheldon. You're in, where is it, Paris, Europe? Hong Kong making Double Impact. Because I remember going to the theater, seeing Double Impact, and going, that makes all the sense in the world. Absolutely, Jean-Claude could do that. What? Because Jean-Claude was that a universe? That was a universe. Yeah, Jean-Claude was in the studio system at that point. He hadn't left yet. He was working, I think, at Warner's or Sony or somebody like that. He was working, but that was a big release. I remember Double Impact. What was it like being on that set? Because it was Jean-Claude at the height of his powers, and Sheldon had just done Lionheart, was a huge hit for Universal. Like, what was that like?
I thought it was fun. I mean, basically, I was living in Paris. Remember, I told you I left the movie business. I was living in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
I was with my younger brother. He had just gotten super sick.
Right.
It was winter. And Sheldon calls me up, and he's like, Bo, we're making Double Impact at the time, I remember what it was called. It was based on the Corsican brothers and this old Alexander Dumas story about these two twins. And they ended up updating it into Hong Kong. And Sheldon was like, and we could really use a few rewrites or whatever. Do you want to come to Hong Kong for a month and help us out, right? And I was like, Eris, do you want to go to my brother? Do you want to go to Hong Kong for a month? And he's like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. And I was like, let's do it. So I was like, yeah, man, let's go. And they flew me into this hotel. This was before Hong Kong turned back to the Chinese. It was still a British protectorate or whatever it was called. And we just found ourselves hanging out with Jean-Claude, having dinner with Bolo Yang from Enter the Dragon. Bolo from Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Having dinner with Jean-Claude and Bolo's family. And me and my brother were just like,
oh my God!
Having dinner with Bolo. This is fucking insane. I mean, I had already known Jean-Claude, right? Like, Sheldon and Jean-Claude brought me in to help re-edit a movie called Cyborg, which was Jean-Claude's second. Which makes this total mess, and I cut my teeth helping to re-edit that movie. So I mean, I was friends with those guys, and my brother and I spent a month and a half in Hong Kong, and just it was so much fun. We just I would write a little bit in the morning. I'd go to that, I'd try and do notes, and I was there when they auditioned all the stuntmen and all this and it was super fun. Like the culture clash of it all was super fun. I introduced Jean-Claude to John Woo's movies. He had never seen one before.
Really?
Yeah, and amongst us guys, we had just seen A Better Tomorrow and A Better Tomorrow 2. I don't know if Hard Boiled had come out yet. I mean, if The Killer had come out yet. I don't think it had even come out yet. Maybe it did.
That was later 80s, if I remember.
But certainly A Better Tomorrow and Better Tomorrow 2 had come out. And we were like, Jean-Claude, man, you've got to see this movie. And Jean-Claude saw the movie and it's like, I have to shoot two guns. And that's why in Double Impact there's a couple of scenes where he shoots two guns.
Great impression of Jean-Claude. It's a very good impression.
Hey, Boa. What do you think of this idea, Boa? Hey, Boa. This is what my conversations with Jean-Claude are like. It was super fun. It really was cool.
So basically, your film school essentially was Clint Eastwood and editing. Clint Eastwood and editing Cyborg.
That was a lot of my film school, actually. Editing Cyborg and Clint. That was before, and then Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
Right. No, because I remember editing. Because I remember Cyborg. I mean, it was okay. Because I'm a time period that I am a Jean-Claude aficionado. So there was Bloodsport, but before Bloodsport there was Black Eagle. Then came after Black Eagle which he had a small part. Oh, no retreat, no surrender. Then he went into Cyborg. I remember Cyborg at the beginning.
Yeah, and by the way, I do have to take a little credit for this. He had just made Bloodsport. They were super excited about him, like Canon Films, I think, or whatever. And they made Cyborg, and it was such a complete and total, it was visual, but it was such an utter mess. And they were going to basically just put it straight to video. Luckily, not straight to audio, right? But straight to video. And
straight to audio.
and Sheldon and Jean-Claude said, hey, do you want to take a look at this? And I looked at it, and I was like, guys, I have an idea. If we can completely recut and restructure and like re-put like new dialogue on like scenes and da-da-da. And I just, since it wasn't my movie, I just went in there and went crazy. I flipped the film. I reversed it. I turned it upside down. I made sequences out of stuff that weren't sequences. And Sheldon and Jean-Claude edited in the other room, and we were all just editing away. And then
Jean-Claude was editing as well?
Yeah, with Sheldon in the room. Like, Jean-Claude's a really smart dude. And we all like sort of re-edited the movie, and I restructured it, and they edited in the other room. Then I left. They reshot a little ending, and they looked at it, and they liked it so much they put it in theaters. Mind you, it's not a classic, but it made money in the theaters. It made money and kind of saved Jean-Claude's career. Like, if that had gone straight to video as his second movie, he would have been in trouble. Instead, his second movie ended up getting a release, making a lot of money, and it just sort of took off from there. So I'm always very proud to have been part of helping Jean-Claude's career stay afloat at a time when it looked a little shaky.
It was a little shaky. And, of course, as long as you have a split in there, which I still remember that split between the two walls, in the rain. Oh, it was good TV times, man.
To watch the rest of this interview, head over to bulletproofscreenwriting.tv.